Peter Sisseck, it's been a very long time.
Yes,
Welcome
it has.
to Hong Kong.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Great to be back.
How often do you actually come here?
I try to come once a year or something like that.
And you've never called me.
Sorry for that.
No.
Don't want to intrude.
You're here working very hard to promote your wines, and Pingus, I know, you're doing fabulously all over the world.
Thank you.
Specifically in Hong Kong, how do you find the market, and how important is it for you?
Actually, funny enough, because the history of Pingus is recent. I mean, we only started in '95, but one of the first promotion tours we ever did was with Alvaro Palacios. We came to Hong Kong. I think it was in '97. So we just had
the handover before or after?
It was just after. Yeah. And
okay.
I remember we had a very big sort of dinner tasting with some of the top collectors in Hong Kong in Petra's restaurant and for us, I mean, we were really. It's almost embarrassing how young we were at that time, but for us it was fantastic. So ever since that time, we had a very good relationship with Hong Kong. Also Asia, for me, we have very good distribution in Japan, of course in Singapore, where I work with NK Young, and for me it's always been very exciting. First of all, I love the culture out here, but also because it's new and interesting in that sense. For a young brand or winery like Dominio de Pingus, it's very important that we have very little wine, so it's very important where the wine goes.
What's the total volume now?
We produce 500 to 600 cases of Pingus, and Flor de Pingus around 5,000 to 6,000 cases. So
tiny.
It's very tiny, but it also allows us to have a very close and very good distribution of our wines. If we want to, we could also sell. The easy thing would be to sell to anybody, and we really try to cherry pick the very best. So we are sure we do a tremendous work in the vineyards and everything, really to try to make classic wines. We do believe that classic wines is, and I'm brought up in Bordeaux, so for me, classic wines and the ageability of a wine, for me, it's extremely important.
You were brought up in Bordeaux. Is that right?
Wine-wise, I'm from Denmark, but my uncle, he had properties in Bordeaux, so I sort of my education, yeah, exactly, is Bordeaux tuned, yeah.
Right. So what percentage is actually sold to the Asian region?
For the moment, I think around 15 to 16%.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a fair amount for our winery, and
do you find that I mean, because you're one of the, I think, iconic wines now of Spain, do you find that there's any community coming to where you can market together or present?
Yeah, I mean,
Bordeaux does it very well, and so do other regions.
It's one of the real sort of pending things I see in Spain. Unfortunately, I would say that normally it's not that Spanish wine itself doesn't sell itself in export, but it seemed often to be low-end wines and price points wines, where I really do believe that Spain has great potential on the high-end wines, and it for some reason it never seems to have been really exploited, that market. Of course, Peter Sisseck is doing a great job, and we help each other as often as we can, and of course we are neighbors in Ribera. Me being the small one, of course, they being much greater, but also, of course, all the work that Alvaro Palacios is doing. One of the things I think was important in that was that many people didn't really count on exporting, or if they were exporting, they were very much exporting to America through the importers, the famous importers in America, who of course have done a lot for Spain, but that's why I believe Asia, for example, is a fantastic thing. And when I say Asia, it's not just China that everybody's talking about. China.
It's also Hong Kong.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for me, yeah, absolutely. I mean, for me, Hong Kong right now is much more important in that sense. And as I don't have any volume, China to me seems to be almost too big. And yeah, exactly. So.
So in Spain, I think there is more and more of an interest in wines from Spain. If there are specific regions that you could identify that you think have really exciting, not the Ribera del Duero, which everybody knows, and Rioja, but others that you could maybe
absolutely.
suggest?
I mean, of course, we have the classic areas of Ribera and Rioja first and foremost. Priorat that came in, and also it's almost a classic now, of course.
Yes.
But I would say that the sort of the really exciting is Bierzo. Even though it's not, it has now for a few years been very much talked about,
right.
But more and more. And again, you see Bierzo. It's a rather large area, bigger than most people think. It's 12,000 hectares, and for a long time it was just wine that was made as a mass market wine.
Yes.
And it was only until recently that people actually figured out that the old vineyards that was up in the mountains, they had tremendous potential.
Wow.
Because we have newly developed vineyards in almost in the foothills of the Pyrenees in Catalonia, where people are planting vines up to 1,000 meters above the sea level, with some very encouraging results, because it is a problem in Spain, of course, the heat.
Are you expanding as well?
No, I'm not. I try to. I have expanded to Bordeaux. I mean, I have acquired a property in Saint-Emilion, so yeah. But I wish, I would like to do one day probably a project in Galicia for white wine. But right now, maybe in a few years. I have a lot of stuff to do right now, so it's
Peter, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, and great to see you again.
Yeah, wonderful tasting.
Wonderful.